Hello everyone. So let me introduce myself. I am Girly B. Ranges. I am 21 years old and I am one of the pre-service teacher under the guidance of Ma'am Saraya Ironico. And for today, I will be your teacher in this lesson 5, which entitled The Socio-Political Issues in the Philippines. Now, are you ready? Okay, now let's go. Now, I want you to ask this question. What can you see in these pictures? Alright, very good. So these are all the social-political issues arises in our country. Good job. Alright, now since you already know what our topic is all about, therefore I will explain to you what is the first one. The first one is the issues on violent elections. So remember, this coming May is the time we're in. We need to vote for those who are really deserving in their positions. So as we all know, Philippine elections, whether local or national, are marred by political violence and voting chaos as a result of faulty automated voting machines. There are also reported cheatings in many polling places. Have you heard that one? Relatives, friends, and spouses kill each other for political cause and for political power. Ambushes and kidnapping of political candidates do happen months before the election time. And because of the social media, I have seen a lot of friends who are really fighting. Say, for example, I am voting for Lenny, I am voting for BBM, I am voting for Manny Pacquiao, I am voting for those other candidates. And the funny part is that they are really making something fishy into it, that they are really willing to break their relationship as friends just because of the one day event, which is the election. I mean, yes, we all have the freedom to choose who wants or who wants us to be the leader of our country, but always remember that we cannot please everyone. So it is our freedom to choose. And there's no need for me, I mean for myself, there's no need for us to really make fight with other people or conversation in the social media, because what can it make when you are going to quarrel or fight, right? So if you will be able to experience this one, probably it's your part or it's your will, but I probably can say that it should be avoided. Okay. So after election, there are always protests coming from the losing candidates. There is usual election adage in Filipino, walang natatalo, mayroon lang nandadaya. So I have heard a lot of words coming from opposite parties. I also have my own president as of the moment, but then I always make sure that every time I post and share something, it is not offended to the other side. Okay, so it's okay to choose what we want, but sometimes we really don't need to get into the limitations such as throwing shades, because there's nothing good about it. Because at the end of the day, it's not them, it's not the president who will make your life better, it is yourself. So again, it's their choice, so I merely um, respect them too. And I want to say that we should respect one another at the same time. So the second one is issues on federalism. So have you heard what is federalism is? So as we all know, our country is a democratic country wherein we are headed by one president, and we also have freedom to speak whatever we wanted to, right? So when we talk about federalism, it is a concept of power exercised by national government, the opposite of the unitary government. At present 2018, the Philippines follows the unitary government in which control and process of national and local affairs are exercised by the central or national government. So, in a federal government, the control and power of the government are divided into two sets of organs. One organ is for the national affairs, and also with each region being supreme within local sphere. So some of the countries with federal forms of government are first Austria, Russia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Ethiopia, Germany, India, Mexico, Switzerland, USA, and Venezuela. So President Duterte is advocating for federalism. However, according to Vice President Leni Robredo, the federal system of government may pose dangers to the provinces or regions that are economically unstable. Hence, the need for further discussions. There must be more consultation to the people to get their pulse. Probably a referendum may do, such as asking them a question. Are you in favor of a federal form of government in the Philippines? It is answerable by yes or no. What about you? Are you in favor of a federal form of government in the Philippines? You can just comment your answers below. So Robredo further expressed that there is anxiety on what is being proposed. The proposed form of government has no clear objectives, form, and which model should be. Former Chief Justice of SC said that President Duterte and Vice President Robredo should not be allowed to run under the new federal form of government. The third one is issues on constitutional change. This change is often dubbed as charter change or Cha-Cha. The present Constitution 1987 edition has not been changed or amended since it was crafted, approved and ratified by the electorates on a plebiscite held on February 2, 1987, when President Corazon Juanco Aquino came into power. It has 17 articles with a new preamble. So for more than 31 years now, the Charter has not undergone major change or revision. So lawmakers do not agree as to what articles, sections, paragraphs, and items to be included and discarded. So what method of amendment or revision people who should do the crafting, who will benefit from such revision and the amount to finance the change. All these issues have political colors. So how is the Philippine Constitution changed? So any amendment to or revision of the Constitution under Section 1 hereof shall be valid when ratified by a majority of the votes cast in the plebiscite, which shall be held not earlier than 60 days nor later than 90 days after the approval of such amendment or revision. Why does the Constitution change over time? So by what 5 ways has the Constitution been changed other than by formal amendment? So the Constitution has been changed by basic legislation by Congress, actions taken by the President, key decisions of the Supreme Court, the activities of political parties, and customs. So the fourth one is issues on political dynasties. So a political family, also referred to as political dynasty, is a family in which several members are involved into politics, particularly electoral politics. Members may be related by blood or marriage. Often several generations or multiple siblings may be involved. So political dynasty have long been an issue in Philippine politics. Political dynasties are typically characterized as families that have long established their political or economic dominance in Metro Manila. So in the province elsewhere, so they have coordinated efforts to move on to involvement in national and local governments and other positions at the same time in political prominence. So political dynasties usually have a strong consolidated support base that is concentrated around Metro Manila. So one of the example for this political dynasty, I cannot deny that the Marcoses. So before we have Ferdinand Marcos as our president, and as of today, his son, which is Bongbong Marcos, is running for the president at the same time, and also his son Sandro Marcos is running for the position of congressman, if I was not mistaken, and also their family is really inclined into politics, so they are considered as a family of politics, or they are considered as political dynasty. So I have heard, Sandro, if you are have this time to watch the video. So I have watched it on TikTok that Sandro answered the political dynasty thrown to him. He answered the question well, but I cannot answer it. I mean, I cannot share it here word by word, so probably could share, you could view it by yourself. Alright. So what are the negative effects of political dynasty in the Philippines? So negative. So political dynasties limit political competition, exacerbating corruption, poverty, and abuse of power. So lastly, we have the issues on human rights violations. So the Philippines has adhered to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, or UDHR, through the Bill of Rights, and continued to create laws and policies that cater to a specific sector of society, like the Labor Code for employees and the Indigenous Peoples' Right. The concepts of human rights in the context of the Philippines pertains mainly, but is not limited to the civil and political rights of a person. Although human rights are respected, sometimes they are violated. According to the historians, there were human rights violations during martial law regime. There will always be human rights violation in every government administration. These violations are committed by lawmakers, government officials, police and military personnel, and private individuals. So the human rights group have linked the campaign and Duterte's often fiery rhetoric to a surge of killings by police and unidentified gunmen since he took office. Nearly 4,800 people killed at the time of writing this book. So police says that individuals targeted by police were killed only after they resisted arrest and shot at police officers, but have provided no evidence to support the claim. So the killings have highlighted the country's long-standing problem of impunity for abusive peace personnel.